Let's go over to the dollar. Um, Dollar a little bit under pressure here on this 1 minute chart. Overall on the day, how have we got on? So a mixed day really. Um, got the pump up and then the drift lower into the close. Heading towards yesterday's close with a little bit time left on the clock for the day. End of the week, profit taking. Um, this market is, well, it looks like it was breaking down until that move up. So hard to call and to know what's going to happen next week. We will be um, looking out for the headlines over the weekend with regards to certainly the Bank of Japan. Tomorrow, Lagarde, I believe, might speak again tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm sure I read somewhere she would. But, everything that she's needed to say is she said really already in the text that was released, which I'll put in the chat right away. There you go. All right. So there we are. Yields trying to come up for some air. Are they peaking out in that correction? Possibly. Right, we've got resistance over here. This is the 10-year yield benchmark. So prospects of a move lower, bearish for the dollar, or are we going to break on up through this resistance area? That's in the 10-year, 2-year. Pretty strong as well. But perhaps we're going to taper off. But we certainly are still in an uptrend for the dollar. Is this a consolidation and a phase of distribution that we might be moving into? Perhaps. Be interesting to see if we close above yesterday's closing price, 103.65, or are we going to close lower and set us up for a move to the downside on Monday? Yep, it still can close strong for the week. Certainly can. Okay, US 30 pumping up from the dead, right? So coming up firmly into this resistance area that we spoke about earlier in the day. It's left a W formation. So very mixed market right now. So this can easily fall back in towards this neckline area, 134.16, and then continue lower if it can't break back above, like we talked about earlier. No changes there. Gold, two-sided business, moving back up towards the mean to end the day towards flat. The closing price 1916. So really, it's a whipsaw day everywhere. So essentially, we're going to be starting Monday on the same grounds as we started today. NAS correcting nicely. So is the S&P, in line with what we talked about. Correction towards the neckline. But given how extended that is, you can pull the Fibonacci I mean, barring that spike low, I'm going to ignore that. We're coming up towards the 50% mean reversion of that move lower. Higher up, we come into the 61.8 ratio. Looking at the volume profile for the day, we've got room, in fact, to come all the way up. So if we break, what are we doing here? So we are breaking up. So this has prospects of a move up. Maybe we'll get a late rally on the day. Or potentially fizzle out around the 50% mean reversion. Got that candle there. This wick testing at the moment. Got price imbalance between here and up here. So could be a fast move up. Any pairs in particular, guys, you want me to look at? Oil, sure. US oil. Um, Coming back up. Yeah, markets are very choppy. So we've got that line in the sand which we marked earlier, 80 spot 38. That guards 82. In fact, lower down we've got this point of control, 81.20. And I like this here as well, 80 spot 90-ish. And then resistance also up in here. So we might even push into 80.50s. It's a pretty strong recovery, isn't it? So I'd mark all of this zone in here as a supply zone with prospects up into 80.90. CHF JBY. Okay, so we had an inside day on Thursday. We're breaking up towards stops, likely to get through there. Stop hunt before a move in to the downside, perhaps. So climbing up to test above these highs, potentially. Maybe failing, drooping back in for the close. Support in here. 165.30s. 165 figure. Okay, dollar CAD popped up to say hello and came back down. All right, so um, W formation into the neckline. Probably going to find some support in here. Depends if oil is going to continue running higher. Potentially all the way in back to yesterday's closing price. And if we get a break of yesterday's close, then we've got last week's highs and then 135.970, 135.70, break of 135.70, open space to go lower. Bearing in mind we're at the end of the day, not sure that we get that kind of move. You never know, but so this is a phase of profit taking into the weekend. More than likely just coming back to its origin, point of control for the day, settling around here perhaps. CAD yen. The yen's been sent onto the back foot in late trade, and CAD yen is benefiting from that. Um, so with dollar CAD coming down, this is bullish for CAD yen. 61.8, 107.94 or 107.80 are the targets. And around the point of control of Monday, the opening balance. So we've essentially come right back into the breakout of Monday. All right, so that looks like it's got some legs. Okay. Any other pairs, guys? Yeah, the Dixie, we see it coming down. We see the Dixie coming into this neckline area of the W formation. Okay, so heading towards yesterday's closing price. It's done its business on the upside. If anything, lower, potentially for a test of 103.54. And I'm not sure how much room there is really for any impressive moves at the end of the day. W formation on Euro Sterling. Prospects of a dip below closing price of Thursday. There is support. Looks like we're pretty sluggish on the upside, topping out in this resistance. Right, W formation. Coming back into the neckline area. Draw Fibonacci. $38.2, the 50% mean reversion are targets on the downside. Euro sterling pips are pretty expensive, so there's some money to have on a scalp into low hanging fruit below. For those who dare to trade at this time of the day. But we haven't, even on this move, the high was made today, and the subsequent low over here. So this is still a bullish market unless we break. We need to break below probably in and around here. To switch the bias to the downside, and then we'll be on the backside of the trend and so forth. But selling into support, treacherous, it could easily be a upside continuation. Okay, guys, going to wrap it up here. I'll get something out for you over the weekend with a watch list as to what to look for Monday and Tuesday, specifically Monday. I wish you all a very, very good weekend. Congrats to everyone that nailed it today. Hope you go into the weekend strong and come out rested and ready for Monday to go again. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks for being here as always, and I'll see you on Monday.